What's up, Closet? It's James, and this week is coming out and our advice. First things first, I'm sorry for it being late, and I'm also sorry for the really shitty lighting. So it's another black and white video, but I don't know. I can't find any good lighting. Everywhere I go, my face looks freaking white as hell. So yeah, that takes care of that. Coming out. So I came out as a lesbian in '09 to my family, and that was through a paper that I wrote for school. It was on Freud and it's 4 stages, and basically, if you lacked or got too much of one particular stage, you would become homosexual. Um, so, in my opinion part, I wrote how, like, well, I don't think that I was, you know, over understimulated in the so and so stage, whatever it was, I forget. Um, so I don't think that that directly is the cause of me being a lesbian or homosexual, whatever I put in there. So basically, I sent that out to all my aunts and my mom, and they read it. And my aunt calls me and she's like, "Oh, now we can finally talk about the pink elephant in the room," because they all like knew, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. Um, it was just like something that was like unspoken about. So we just didn't talk about it. I'm really like private. Well, I used to be really private with that kind of stuff. Like, it's my sexual relationship, so I don't think it's like any of my family's business, like who I'm fucking. So I didn't think it was like that big of a deal to come out to them. Like, I know, like, oh, well, it's, a big deal, but like, I also think that I was that way because I was really against the term lesbian, and I knew that I wasn't a lesbian, so I didn't want to have to do that. But it got to the point where I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna be 20, I need to like come out, like, people need to know that I'm sleeping with girls. And the only like really flack that I got from it was my guy friends. I used to only hang out with guys, and basically they were all pissed off that I was stealing their girls because all I do is date straight girls. So they were pretty pissed when there was a higher competition, and I always wound up winning because, I mean, look at his face. Obviously, I'd win. So yeah, that was that. And then um, after that, I started coming out to like my really really close friends as trans, and some like the majority of them like all took it like fine. That's, it's not a big deal. Like, they didn't really understand it. They didn't really get it. They didn't understand like what was gonna change, but they were kind of supportive. My one friend I was kind of worried about, just because she like, I felt like sometimes she would like deliberately, you know, not use the right pronouns, and just because she's like, she would always blame it on like, oh well, I've known you forever and it's harder for me. And but it was just like, obviously if you've known me forever and you love me as much as you say you do, then you'll try harder to like notice who the fuck I am as a person and be supportive of that, even if it takes a little extra effort on your side. Like, and she still has trouble to this day. And we got into a little fight about it because, she was my best friend, so I did care about her opinion. Everyone else, I'm like, fuck you. If you don't like that I'm fucking trans, like, go off yourself. I don't care. Like, I'm me, I'm living life, and I'm doing better, living a happier life, being the real true self. And I'm able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, this is who I am, and I'm proud of it. And but like when it became my best friend, I was like nervous about it because I'm like, oh my god, like I just want her to get on board. Like I want her to say he, and I, need her to respect me and know where I'm coming from. And I tried to understand, where she was coming from, and I knew that it would be a process. But like now it's been like 3 years since she's known, and it's kind of like there's hasn't really been that much progress. So I'm hoping, since I started testosterone and she sees more physical effects, that it'll be a lot easier. But I understand just some people aren't going to get it, and that's kind of a line that divides people, and maybe it's for the better. So um, I'm still not out to like all like my acquaintances and my drinking buddies, just because I don't think that that's pertinent information, and I know that I'm not gonna like be friends with them later on. Like, I'm graduating next year. I'm like getting a real like life together, and like I know that I'm not gonna be like, they don't really need to know. Trans is a lot more sensitive topic than coming out as gay, so I try not to tell that many people, like unless they're like really close people to me, or new people that I'm meeting and they don't understand like why everyone else is calling me he. Um, that's why I have to come out as that. So yeah, I started a new school, and for the majority, like when I first got there, I thought I was gonna have like a fresh start and start, just saying I'm James and male and everything, but it was a problem when teachers weren't on board with it, so I wound up just living female for my first semester there, and then I switched completely to male. Um, and so the friends that I made when I first got there were under the impression that I was a lesbian, and then once I got more comfortable with them and I knew that I could trust them, that's when I came out, and they were all so fucking supportive, like awesome, like right away. He and all like the guys would like be like, oh, let's get some beers at the bar and we'll do like boy time, guy time, whatever. So it was cool, and everyone saw me as a guy, or at least acted like they saw me as a guy, and it was cool. Um, I had a past girlfriend that wasn't really on board with me being trans, and we wound up breaking up. I'm pretty sure it was because of that. But my girl now, she's so fucking supportive, like amazing. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Um, she does my shots. She does, everything. She's always like on board, like Googling stuff and just being great about it. It's funny because like, a lot of people wonder like, how do you tell someone that like, you're sleeping with that you're trans? Like that's a little bit awkward, don't you think? I went up to like visit my girlfriend now at school because she was my best friend who didn't really take it that well. His best friend up at school. So I went up and I was like, damn, I need to hook up with this girl. So we were hooking up or whatever, and then like we were about to have sex, and I'm like, shit, I should probably tell her like so she doesn't get like freaked out or whatever like when she comes back home. So we're like in the midst of things. We're both drunk as hell, and I'm just like, I'm trans. I just want to tell you that so we get it out of the way. And like it was the first time that I ever did it, and it was the first time that I like ever like felt the need like, oh, I need to tell her. And she was just like, yeah, whatever, like who cares? And like we just kept doing stuff. And then like later on, she tells me after we start dating, like I never really understood what you meant by that, like trans. And I was like, obviously, whatever. But it was funny. But I don't know. So I've had pretty much good experiences all around. I feel like some of my acquaintances had gotten word about my situation being trans, and I had gotten some like flack on my Facebook, and they wrote like, why are you trying to be a man? You're not a fucking man. Stop. Trying to do that. Just you're trying to cure your lesbian sexuality, something like stupid shit like that. Like the ignorant people, I just don't even pay attention to because I'm like, you're obviously that ignorant in like the not mean way, but like in the you have no fucking knowledge whatsoever way. So I don't pay attention. I don't let it get me down because it's just like whatever. Like fuck you. What are you doing with your life? Like selling drugs and you're not going to school. Like you work at fucking waitressing or waiter and you make minimum fucking wage. Like and you're gonna come at me because I'm living my life and I'm going to school. I got a full time job and I got my shit together. Like nah. So honestly, my whole advice is you just have to be proud of who you are and just really be confident, even if you don't have any confidence. Act like you do, because other people will see that and they're not going to be able to see through you. As long as you hold your confidence 100% when you're out, like no one's going to question you. If you're just like, yeah, I'm gay, and or yeah, I'm trans, and like what are they going to say? Oh, you're fucked up, blah blah blah. Like, okay, did I ask for your fucking opinion? No. I mean, I'm kind of like really blunt and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. And I know a lot of people aren't as like, matter of fact as I am, and like I don't sugarcoat shit. So it's kind of just like if someone fucks me over as a friend, I'm just gonna be like, all right, not a big deal to me. Like I don't care. So that's just my advice. Go in with confidence and just tell people. And especially if there's any trans people watching this, like I understand like in the beginning stages, like you have to come out to like every new fucking person that you meet, and it gets really tiring and frustrating. I don't know if there's any more like if anyone else has any questions or you want me to go more in detail. I just kind of like skim the surface about this stuff, but comment on the video and I'll get back to you. Or inbox me on my personal channel. It's me, Mr. James, and I can get back to you that way. Probably a lot easier. Um, and I can help you out like through whatever. Like I've been there with the whole coming out as gay and then coming out as trans, and I'm still going through that right now because I'm still in the beginning stages. So instead of making this video lasting even longer than it is, I can just help you out through there and kind of listen to what your particular thing is dealing with, because I could go through a million different opportunities and a million different situations that you might get yourself into that I've already been into, and I can kind of help you through it, or at least show you what I did.